Hello there, and welcome to the Animating Eating Motion with the Animation Mentor School. My name is Gleb Sitnichenko. I'm mentor here at Animation Mentor School, and I'll be glad to teach you on how to do animation for eating motions. And before we're gonna start, I just want to quickly introduce myself for those who don't know me. I'm 3D animator with experience of a little bit over 8 years, almost 9. I worked on all kind of projects, starting from mobile games, then moved to PC games, and worked also on cinematics and feature films. And currently I'm working as a senior animator for AAA shooter for Rant games. And yeah, that's a little bit more about me. And I wanna separate this lesson on two parts, basically, this tutorial on two parts. The first one will be theory. We'll quickly go over on how we're gonna approach our animation, what we're going to think of while we're gonna do our animation. And we're also gonna discuss what's the processes during the eating in the character is going on and why it is important, and it dictates the general movements of a character during the animation. So, and the second part will be the actual, I will show you the scene and the animation that I did in advance. We will go through the blocking and the processes I'm thinking during the blocking. And then we're gonna take a look on the final result and see how those all principles that we discussed in the first part in theory are implemented in the second one. Okay, so let's jump quickly to our theory. While exploring the actual motions that going on during eating animation, I come up with 4 stages of eating. And those are bringing food to the mouth, is basically anticipation for our animation. The second one is chewing animation, swallowing, this is third one, and the last but not least, personality and variation. It's basically cherry on top, where character gonna like react on the food that he or she just ate. Okay, so let's quickly discuss in details each of those stages. The first one, bringing food to the mouth. Before we're going to discuss actually this stage, I want to talk a little bit, like in a minute, regarding importance of using the references. So I'm always saying in my tutorials, especially for those animators who are juniors, middle, or like starting being senior, it's really important to work with the references. It helps us to understand the acting without going to acting school, basically. And you also like living through the actual animation of yours, so you can clearly understand, okay, while I'm doing this animation, I have this feeling that something is off, and it's because you did the reference in advance and you actually acted this animation. Like, not talking even that it's on your screen and you can actually see that movements is off. So working with the reference is really important. It guides you through the processes and helps you do your result and achieve the best result you can. Okay, so now I have recorded myself eating, and this is bringing food to the mouth. So it starts with me looking forward, but then looking down and seeing, okay, I have here a good food in front of me. Here, I'm licking my lips, taking my spoon, scooping the food, and putting it inside my mouth. So those 4 stages, basically inside, it helps to make viewer be prepared what's gonna happen next, and what's gonna happen next is actually chewing and swallowing the food. So yeah, let's talk about sub-stages here. So bringing food to the mouth includes preparation. Preparation is basically you are reacting to the food that is, you are a character, you're doing reacting to the food that is in front of you, right? Excuse me. So your reaction will tell the viewer what kind of food is there. Is it tasty? Is it big? Is it hot? Is it salty? Is it like sweet? Yeah, a reaction of a character will tell the viewer of what the food is in front of a character. Then goes the actual action, like scooping and picking up the food. It can be picked up with a hand, picked up with a spoon, fork, anything can be done. And the head meets the hand is the next substage. Basically, not only the hand goes towards your mouth or mouth of a character, but also head goes towards the hand that contains the food. It's really important. And also tongue preps, I just said it's optional because it can be also be, I don't know, like sniffing the food, looking from different angles on a food inside the head or spoon. Yeah, so basically those stuff like licking or sniffing is our natural things to do before we're gonna actually eat the food. It's just our natural thing where our brain understands if this food is good to put inside the mouth. Maybe it is hot, maybe it is, I don't know, it smells bad and it's like the food is actually bad. So adding those little details will help like make your animation look more realistic. Okay, let's quickly go through the rest of the stages. The next stage is chewing stage. So this is how I'm chewing. Please don't be judgmental. I'm overacting here and my wife actually recording me. So yeah, that's why I'm trying not to laugh. Okay, so here you can see that we're chewing. And usually when we as an animator think about chewing animation, we think, oh, it's really easy. It's basically our jaw rotates down and up, down and up. But it's actually not true. It more contains there. We have the head motion that helps basically chewing our food. It's almost in the same timings as our jaw drops down and goes up again. Then if we're talking about the actual jaw, I think I have it on the next slide actually. So yeah, this is sub-stage. So let's start from the first one, then we go to the jaw. So first one is soft bouncing of mouth corners. So when the food got inside our mouth, the reason why it's not falling out again is because we have muscles inside around our mouth, right? Around our lips. So it helps it getting tense and it helps hold this food inside our mouth. In the same time, our cheeks get inflated because food is pushing from inside to our cheeks, and yeah, it got like this basically, right? And I know I'm overacting, but like even little food will do some sort of a stretching inside the cheek. Now we're talking about motions on the jaw. It's not only up and down because our teeth are basically grinding the food, and it will be not doing this good of a job if it's just gonna be pushing from top and bottom, right? So we need to grind. And in order to grind, our jaw will do not only up and down motion, but kind of like circular one, like this. Like it's a circular motion where on the top, when jaw goes on the top and doing like another circle, it's basically grinding the food and doing those little particles that will go down to the digestion system later. And yeah, while it's gonna down, our mouth not always open, especially if we eat the food that like have a lot of small particles. Our lips will stretch down while our mouth gonna be open, kind of like this. So my lips are actually closed, but my mouth is open, right? My jaw is open up and down. Okay, so next stage. It's almost last one. And it is swallow animation. So when we're thinking about swallowing, we usually think, oh, it's basically our throat doing this kind of weird, like Adam's apple going down and up, and it's basically swallowing, like we had in all those old cartoons, right? That Disney did. But it's not only it, it's also the movements of a head, and we're gonna discuss it later. That's how I swallow, yeah, and I'm almost breaking a character and started to laugh. So it also contains sub-stages. So chin and head go lower slightly to help to swallow. The reason why it goes lower slightly is because for humans it's easier to swallow when we're raising up our head. For example, when you swallow like a pills, right? You put a pill inside the mouth, put the water inside the mouth, and then like raising up the head, and it helps you swallow. The reason why, because it helps to go your throat a little bit not that bended, so a little bit straighter. That's why it's easier to swallow. And we're not usually raise our head all the time when we're doing swallowing, but we're basically doing this kind of a shape. If we look from the side, this kind of a shape that helps like stretch our throat here in this part for easier swallowing. That's why we're doing this little deeping down with the head. Then yeah, the next one is obvious. Visible Adam's apple drop. It basically shows how the food goes down the throat. A subtle lip smack, breathe out, realism after swallowing, and maybe there's like optional eye blink and etc. So yeah, we're usually licking our lips as a human while we're eating, before we're gonna eat something and after. I don't know why I didn't like learned why we have it here, and I didn't explore why, but it's actually what happens, and it adding more realism to our animation. And the last stage is adding personality. This one I didn't did in our animation, but I want to discuss it because it's really important. So basically, as we have anticipation, we also have like reaction after the food. So anticipation helps us to show what character expects from this food and the taste of this food, and the reaction shows how food actually was. So yeah, it can contain a few substages. It's a speed variations. For example, you can do speed variation is relates to the chewing animation actually. So you can do like slow chewing, then quicker. You can do reaction to the taste. It can be like, something is off with the food. It can be like happy, oh, I really like the food, really like the taste. It can be sad or like disgusting. Yeah, this like different kind of how you can eat with the chopstick, with just hands, or like anything else. And with helping with the head can show you like, it's really tasty, or like it goes off, I'm about to throw, for example, throw out. So yeah, all of those helps with the reaction. And let's now jump straight to our animation. That's the second part. And it's a good thing, while I was doing animation, I was having my second screen here and having playing here my references. So this is my first reference. And yeah, in my scene, you can see that I have bookmarks here. It's actually, yeah, it's a blocking animation. And I separated on the 3 stages: start, cycle, and end. It's basically those 3 that we discussed. Start is preparation, cycle is chewing, and end is swallowing. And here is my first reference. As you can see, I'm looking to the food, then I'm doing this kind of a reaction, like with the licking of my lips, preparing to eat, getting a spoon, taking a food, and putting it inside my mouth with this really weird reaction in my face. Okay, so here I'm doing the same, and as you can see, it's not only head that doing motions, it's also the body and expression on the face, right? So I'm looking, my character is looking to the food, figure out, okay, it's tasty or not, then licking the lips. We can clearly, as the viewers, understand, okay, he's licking the lips, it means that the food is actually tasty and he's about to eat it. Then getting a spoon, picking up the food and eating. And while eating, moving head and a body towards our spoon, same as the spoon moving towards our head. And you can see that all the time while my character is thinking, I'm squinting his eyelids a little bit, because it like when we think, we either look to the side or squinting our eyelids, or we are also closing the eyes. So yeah, there's a few ways how to show that it's thinking. For example, here, while he's taking the food inside the mouth, I'm closing his eyelids, because I want to show how he's trying to concentrate all his senses towards the taste of the food. So yeah, and you can see that, yeah, opening the mouth, then closing with a blow, like with a stretched cheeks here. See? Because I didn't fix the glasses, you can clearly see the cheeks got stretched. And we can clearly see that the food is inside the mouth. Now goes the second stage, and it is cycle of chewing. Let me change my timeline a little bit. And here I showed how chewing is going on. You can see that the motion is circular. Our lips are tense because it's holding the food, and the corners are getting squished inside. It's not wide open. For example, that how it will be wide. That's the standard width, right? But I squeezed it like this in order for us to show that there's actually a lot of food inside the mouth, and our characters try to keep it inside the mouth. And as you can see, while jaw goes up, our lips are pushing to each other, and our cheeks are getting a little bit bigger. It's because it's pushing, kind of like squeezing out our cheeks with the food. And yeah, this is how it usually goes. And as you can see, I'm also adding motion not only on the jaw, but also on the head and the body. So yeah, a little bit overacting here. And eyes closed because all senses, as I said before, are focusing on figure out how good is this food is actually. And now the last one is swallowing. So swallowing, as we said before, it doing little deep down with the head and then up, and it stretched out the throat, as you can see here. And our apple is moving down, showing that the food actually went to the digestive system. And we're missing here the reaction in the end, as I said before, but yeah, the base is there of actually eating the food. The reaction is can be a separate topic. Comment down below if you want to add to do another tutorial where we actually do the full cycle with the reaction as well. Okay, so let's take a look on the whole animation from the beginning. So reaction, picking up the food, now chewing, and swallowing. So this is a blocking, and now let's take a look on a spline. This animation is not finished, it's just on a spline mode, and we left it as it is because all the principles is there. So yeah, once again, this is a preparation. As you can see, there's a take a look on the food, pause. For us I added this pause for a viewer to get some time to figure out, to feel actually that our character is thinking about the food. Because if we don't have this pause, it will be too obvious that character was thinking before about the food, it was ready before to eat it, which is not the case here. So yeah, I've added this pause, then licking over lips. You can see that our tongue is rotated down in the beginning, but then slowly rotates up in the end. Then picking up the spoon, doing this motion of getting the food inside the spoon, then closing our eyes and getting our character full satisfaction with the food. Then goes food, and let's take a look on those circular motions here. See, there's a motion. I can also turn on motion. Oh, it didn't work. Let me turn on this one. Yeah, this one will. So you can see that it's circular, a little bit not clear circle, but yeah, circular. And a head and a body basically kind of like overlapping as well. So not only jaw is moving, and you can clearly see that not only this part is moving, but also cheeks are getting puffier and less puffier. I didn't fix the glasses, it should go up and down as well, but I didn't did it, yeah, because it is spline, not a polished stage. And also our eyebrows are kind of reacting, because when we chew, our brows kind of squishing when we're getting this tense inside our mouth, so they are lowering down and raising up over and over again during chewing animation. Yeah, here we go. And there is the last part. Let me turn off. So you can see how food basically goes. It's one control that basically goes down and up again, simulating Adam's apple or throat that goes the food. And the motion. See, swallowing not only the throat or mouth movement, but it's a movement of a head and a body as well. Like everything helps to show the movement of our character. And also important thing that our jaw is going down during the swallowing. And yeah, after going up again, our cheeks are not blowing since the food went to the throat. So yeah, this is the... And let's take a look on the full animation before we're gonna finish up. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so this is tutorial on how to do the animation for eating motions. And let me know in the comments what do you think, what did we miss, or what do you want to add on top of it. And yeah, see you on the next one. Bye bye.